OCG TV here, back to talk about Love is Blind Season 7, Episode 4. I've just spent today watching a Love is Blind episode and then coming here to record, watching Love is Blind and coming here to record, but this is the last episode I've watched and I'm recording today. I had to see the fallout with the whole Leah, Hannah, Brittany, Nick situation, and thankfully, Hannah, even though she's the youngest cast member, handled it all very well. Unlike Leah, Love Island flashback. Unlike Leo, who is fumbling his whole triangle. Honestly, I was locked and loaded to come here with some jokes about Hannah, to come here with some mean jokes about Hannah. If she was going to piss me off with the whole situation, I was expecting to have to come here and drag her, and I was willing to do it. And I'm kind of sad that I can't get those jokes off now. But nonetheless, Hannah played it right, and so I am happy with Hannah. I really do feel as if Leo, in the end of episode 3, coming into episode 4 here, was trying to manipulate Hannah. I guess he felt punched in the gut because he allegedly realized that Hannah was the one for him, but Hannah had already proclaimed her love for Nick and vice versa. So when that conversation with Hannah happened, he freaked out and was kind of trying to throw it all out on the table with Hannah, saying he wants her, he'd ask her to marry him right now. I think that was supposed to be Leo's way of showing passion. It didn't come across as passion to me. It came across as like a last-ditch emotional manipulation of, are you sure you don't want this, Hannah? Are you sure you really want Nick? I was very desperate from Leo, and I'm glad Hannah read into that. So props to Hannah for reading into that. By the end of this episode, Nick proposed to Hannah. As we know, I like my fellow Nick in this show anyway. So I'm happy to see Nick and Hannah end up together. We'll see what transpires between them. There could still be drama there, who knows? But for now, I'm glad that Nick got the woman in this scenario. Where Leo and Brittany are concerned, I just don't understand Leo. And the worst part about this season and this show so far is that I don't want to understand Leo. I don't like Leo. I said it from the beginning. I don't like watching Leo. And I maybe it's because I don't understand him. I don't know. So he says he's here to really find love. He says he doesn't want a trophy wife. And by the end of episode 3, it looked like he really wanted Hannah. But now that Hannah's going with Nick, it does seem like he's just wanting to settle for Brittany here. And like Brittany is his second choice. But it goes against everything he wanted, he said when he came in here. Which I guess is the point of his edit, I suppose. Brittany not having it. And good on her for sticking up for himself, at least by the end of this episode. She could still go over him in these next few episodes. I'm sure she might. But it's good that Brittany now is the one that has to make the choice. The tables have turned. Like she said in the episode, Leo was dragging out this triangle and not doing a very good job of dragging out this triangle. And then now he is no longer in the driving position to make the decision. Brittany is, and I'm happy to see her give him hell for his stupidity so far in this season. But let's move on to some better things. I really love Steven and Monica. I really do. Steven is grown on me a lot. He's very funny. I think Monica just knows what she wants. I liked her talk before Steven proposed and they were going to meet, and that's what happened in this episode too. I liked that before they met, Monica was talking about physical chemistry is important to her, which I think should be obvious for a lot of people. And she could get the ick easily, not just from looks, but just the chemistry. And her chemistry with Steven was the best so far with people meeting. As much as I really loved Ashley and Tyler, and I still do like them, and I still think they have like the chemistry on like their personalities meshing very well. Steven and Monica had like the whole package with the chemistry. I think they had the physical connection chemistry. They do have that same like personality meshing chemistry. They talked about in a past episode, I believe, about how they're both weird and they just want to be weird together. I liked that Steven was repeating over and over how beautiful Monica is because she is. So yeah, I just felt like their first meeting was actually my favorite of the now 4 after this episode that I believe I've seen. Taylor and Garrett, I didn't like their kissing. I thought it was awkward to watch. Ashley and Tyler, like I said, I did enjoy them. They really warmed my heart with their meeting. But yeah, Steven and Monica just have great chemistry, and I'm happy to see it. I hope they work out because they have it, if you will. There was another meeting in this episode, which was Tim and Alex. And I don't know how I want to talk about this Tim and Alex relationship. First of all, it's kind of hard because in 4 episodes, they really haven't had that much airtime with their whole story. And what we have got from them is Tim having a lot of heavy conversations with Alex, mostly about the death of his sisters. And Alex is a very good listener. But their whole relationship up to now, at least from their edit, doesn't come across like a relationship to me. It's giving much trauma dumper and therapist. And for somebody your first meeting, it's kind of a lot. But Alex, I mean, it's working for Alex. She agreed to his proposal. And then their meeting comes in this episode. And I just didn't love it. First of all, he didn't get on his knee and propose in person. Unless that was an edit thing. He just took out the ring and put it on her finger. So that was odd. I think Tim was attracted to Alex. She was worried because she's a bigger woman and she thought that could be a detriment. I don't know if Alex was totally attracted to Tim, in my opinion. They are very much giving me friendship vibes. They have the least amount of chemistry of the 4 couples that I have met. As much as I don't like Garrett and Taylor seem to at least be into each other physically too, and he was better in person than when they were just talking, in my opinion. I didn't like Garrett when they were just talking. I like Tim and Alex as people, but I just don't see it. It really comes across trauma dumper and therapist, friendship vibes when they meet. I think a lot of that is Tim's fault. Tim is the trauma dumper. It was cute that they painted the same picture. I will say that. They painted the birds and the bees because her last name is Bird. His last name has bees in it. That was a whole joke an episode or 2 back. So to see them paint the same exact picture without knowing what the other is painting was cute. But it's giving friendship. So we'll see if they actually work out. Their chemistry on first meeting, though, is kind of a wet blanket. The only other real thing to talk about in this episode was Marissa's love triangle, which ended in this episode as well. Marissa and Bowden, they had so much in common with each other. They said many a times in these first 4 episodes how they felt like they were the same person because they had so much in common. And I do feel like in the end that was a detriment to their relationship. Sometimes you want someone that evens you out as a person, not somebody who is exactly like you. Whereas Marissa and Ramses, he as big of a personality as he does have, he is more, I believe, introverted than she is. She's a huge extrovert. She talked about in this episode how her personality is so big and how she doesn't have problems getting a guy because of her personality and her looks, but she has a fear of keeping men. They always leave her eventually, and she's hoping that's the difference with herself and Ramses. So she did end up ending it with Bowden in this episode to just focus on Ramses. And Ramses and Bowden are friends, as we saw an episode or two ago. The one thing I don't like with the edit so far in the show is we don't really see enough aftermath from the guys and the girls. Like, I would have liked to have seen Bowden talk to Ramses after Marissa dumps him. Not that it would have been dramatic, but I would have liked to see that interaction. I would also like to see the interactions between the men and the women when they come back from these meeting their person for the first time. So that would be nice to see. As for Marissa and Ramses, I do like them together. We'll see what happens when they actually meet, how their chemistry is compared to some of these other couples so far. If I had to rank the first meetings of the 4 we've seen, Steven and Monica are the top for me. I felt like they had the best chemistry together in person. Ashley and Tyler are very close behind because their personalities just get along so well. I think that they have a deep connection. Their connection is probably deeper than Steven and Monica, but I don't know if they had as much physical chemistry together. And then I guess Taylor and Garrett, even though Garrett sucks. And then I would rank last Tim and Alex, because like I said, their whole relationship kind of revolves around her being his therapist. And clearly, see, the reason I didn't want to talk about this too deep is because I get his drama. I don't have siblings, so I don't know what it's like to lose a sibling. So I'm sure he does have a lot of trauma from losing both of his sisters. And it means a lot to him. He gave her his sister's bracelets. Like, I get it. It's a sweet connection. It's just like, at least from the edit, is there more to them other than her just being his therapist? I hope we see more than that. Other than that, it's still been too much Leo for my liking. It's getting to the point now when it's time for Leo's storyline to pop back on. I have almost a physical reaction of like, ugh, do I have to see what Leo's nonsense is, what nonsense he's spouting? He's clearly not there for the right reasons. Despite everything he said, he's always been a walking, talking contradiction in these 4 episodes. But I'm tired of watching it. I hope Brittany doesn't accept his proposal, and then the second half of this season, there's just no more Leo. No more Leo. Like I said in my last video, I don't know how this show works, so I don't know if everyone sticks around and on the show like Love Island. I think that would be more interesting and create more drama if Leo and Hannah have to meet in person as well, and not just Nick and Hannah. But I don't know how that show works, and I'm recording this the same day as I recorded my last video, so I haven't read any comments from my past 3 videos yet. But you could talk to me in the comments. Tell me how the show works, please, because I don't know. But I'm going to stick with it. I am enjoying it overall, but the Leo portions of the show, I could do without going forward.